Well, folks, it's another Monday night, and it's Airfix and Chill. We've got just us three at the moment. I think there's some more popping in later on. I understand that a lot of people, have other things going on in their lives, and sometimes can't pop on to Airfix and Chill. But when they do, we have a good time, don't we, gentlemen? So, what's going on here? I've got noises starting and everything here. Hang on, let's stop that. There you go. Let's stop that. Oh. So he's trying to ring me. Anyway, folks, so at the moment we've got to Bodie go with James, and we've got John Alec, Scale Modelling, and plenty of people in the chat, which is good. I see model officers popped in. I just want to just say thank you to our new member who's turned up tonight, which is Martin B. Martin, if you go to my About page, there's an email address. Email me, and I'll send you some stickers, a couple of my zines, and a woven patch. And if you've done a Concorde or an electric Lightning, and let me know, and I'll send you that woven patch for doing that challenge. But thank you for becoming a member. So we've got 9 in the chat so far. And also, like we said, Airfix and Chill is a multi-platform or multi-channel platform. So you probably see that Alex, well, there's Alex now, he's popped in. We'll add him to the mix anyway. Now he's here. If to unmute your mic, mate, if you want to chat. Yes, we go cross channel. Yeah, we go cross channel so that we have lots of people chatting. And Kevin M, can I get some stickers? Yes, you can, mate. Email me and I'll send you some stickers. All channel members get stickers and a couple of zines off me. I must get some more woven patches done for the Mod 6510 models patch. I must get that done soon. Also, while Alex is here, he's also got a challenge, which is the F35 challenge. So if you want to go over to his channel and see the challenge there of building an F35 Lightning, you can get a woven patch from him. So, which is all good. But John is in his shop. Pardon?
Yes, in his shop.
And go and visit Alex's shop.
Yeah, go and visit his shop. Go to mansmodelsmoments.co.uk, I think it is. He'll come on in a minute and explain to you his new shop. I see that Sully turned up there and got a few deals from Alex this week. So hopefully he's gone away happy with some models there, Alex. It's just saying that Sully visited your shop this week.
Hello. Yes, sorry, I had a few issues with tech and hardware there. But yeah, saw Sully. We spent a good amount of time yakking.
Yeah.
And, which gave him more opportunity to look around the shop, of course. So it was all
definitely. So that's his website there. So you want to go to his website. I was just saying that you also do challenges, and you've got the F35B F35 Lightning Challenge at the moment. So if anybody completes building one of those models, that you'll send them one of those woven patches.
Indeed, and if you buy one from the shop, I will include one in your purchase.
Oh, well done! I like that. We'll have to do that. Yeah,
it was 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, we've got quite a few in the chat. We got the regulars here. We've got David in tonight. Nice to see my friend Dan's in. I think Celtic West is somewhere along here. Taggers is in, bless him, and Hobby Barn. If I'm not mentioning your name, I do apologise. We've got Dave Barber. Got plenty of Go For It paintings also in, and Moz going for multi-meta media. Yes, I could do that. I've got an F35, but it's a quick build. Well, it's up to you, Alex. I think the challenge is you've got to use glue and paint on it. I've always said, you can't buy a corgi one and put a decal on it and say I've built it. Do you know what I mean? It's, there's always workarounds with these folks, isn't it? So, any further, Alex? Did you pre-order any SRN1 hovercrafts in your shop?
I couldn't because I wasn't aware of them until the announcement.
Right. Have you got any further with that?
No. At the moment, I haven't had cause to order additional stock from Airfix at the moment. I shall be doing shortly.
Well, little something for you. I remember if you want to take it up with Airfix. I ordered one pre-ordered a little bit later on in the day because I wasn't able to get to a computer and pre-order at the time. I just saw the announcement on Twitter from Jadlam or the email from Jadlam. And then it was about half an hour later, then we got the announcement from Airfix that they were pre-ordering this on their website. So I didn't pre-order it till later on in the day. Anyway, I I basically ordered it from Airfix, and then on I was either Thursday or Friday, I ordered it from Jadlam saying that they had them in stock. And I was away on holiday, so I presume this either came Saturday or Sunday. I got this from Jadlam before my pre-order did from Airfix, and that kind of peeved me a little bit. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Subject for another discussion one night with us, perhaps.
Yeah. I don't think that's fair, really, but you know, it's I pre-ordered from the Airfix website, and I still haven't got it. David Coombs says my SRN1 is out for delivery with DPD. Well, mine says they're waiting for the parcel. And I got that notification Saturday, and I still haven't received it today. You know, so I'm just wondering whether
I think there's a lot of issues with the couriers at the moment. Let's just say that.
But it's not even
DPD have never been great.
Really? I love DPD. You know, it's like there's that little meme that goes out there saying, you know, what when you look up tracking and like Royal, you know, like Hermes is like, you know, it will be there when it gets there, and Royal Mail, it may come, you may get a red notice saying it's attempted delivery.
Yeah,
and it's got DPD. That it tells you the time, the date, you know, the driver, the star sign of the driver, you know, the exact time.
Well, I do know this.
It shows you exactly the time they delivered it to the wrong address. They've done that to me 3 times. So,
I do know this.
Not DPD.
That someone had something delivered by Royal Mail, and they said it's in the cardboard recycling bin.
Oh,
and
no!
The bin men collected the bin.
Yeah, I think that's a full par on that one, isn't it? If you put it in any sort of recycling bin, you know, the reason that most recycling bins are hidden away. The reason you can see them is because it's collection day. Yeah, I get that. So, but as I said, one of my wife's friends is actually the manager at DPD, and he's been absolutely brilliant for me. If I got an issue, I just contact him and say what's going on, and he'll say, "Oh yeah, it's on its way." So he's pretty good. But yeah, I'm quite happy with DPD. But anyways, I thought tonight we haven't really discussed this much, but Revell and Heller, and what does the future really hold for them? I did an Alex, and I went on to ScaleMates, looking at what they've released in 2023. So we'll get the screen up here because I'm going to share screen, and I want Revell, which really got me quite shocked. So we're going to share it. So there's the screen. Excuse me. Basically, they've released 70 apparently this year, or they're in the process of releasing 70 kits. And I thought to myself, well, I don't remember them announcing 70 kits. I never really announced. All I saw the announcement was that expensive Meteor that we all thought was way overpriced for what it is. But they going down through a lot of it is either new boxes, as you know, the 71 Ford Mustang Boss 351 is a new tool, which is in 1 to 25th, which surprised me because I thought Revell was 124th. So where's this 125th come from? I don't know. So I'm assuming that anything car-wise coming from Revell is now going to be launched in a 125th scale. Did anybody else query that one, or is that just my thoughts? You know,
it's Revell being Revell.
Just
I think the
Revell
124th, 125th comes from a lot of historical molds they've got.
Yeah,
and an approximation in scale.
Definitely an approximation in scale.
Yeah, Revell used to do box to scale, didn't they? So,
but I'm just saying that all the newer stuff seems to be in this 125th. So, if you're going to get a car from Revell, If it's
Yeah.
1/24th, I presume it's going to be old style monogram or whatever that they have in the tooling. And then anything that's new in 1/25th is going to either be in a new tool. So when's this one? Was this Ford Mustang? Let's have a quick look on this one. Ford Mustang. When was it first released? 2020 or 2023? Wrong one.
Yeah,
Go back
that's
a minute.
new. Yeah.
See, that's 2023. So they've got these are all just model sets of the same one, basically, of that
Yeah.
one tooling. I get that.
Yeah.
That's 1/25th. This one here. When was this one released? 2000. Wow, that does
2000.
surprise me.
X
So maybe I'm wrong
monogram
then.
tooling.
Maybe they're mixing and matching it up a little bit here
Yeah.
with 1/24th and 1/25th.
I could be wrong, but the American makes of cars, so like AMT, American old Revell, PMC. I think those all tend to be 1/25th. Folks in chat can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. And then like the Tamiya, they're all 1/24th, right?
Right. Yeah.
The Fujimis, the Aoshima, the you can go on. Hasegawa, those tend to be 1/24th.
Yeah.
So I think, as Alex mentioned, it might just be, or you mentioned, it might just be historical.
Okay, that's fair enough. As I just said, they've got 70 there, and I can only really see. Look at that. That's the price of that. Jadlam have got this at £123.95 for
Ouch.
a 1/32nd scale Meteor Platinum. But I was under the impression it's going to be more than that. It was like around the 140 mark. So maybe they dropped the price a little bit. So there's still a lot of money for Revell tooling, but Revell tooling. But I'm just saying that if you go down through the list, just go back one a minute. Everything's, the Hurricane was a new tool. Has anyone in the chat built that yet? Anybody got any thoughts on that one? Because I've heard it's very
Matt's
soft.
built it.
Who built it?
Model Minutes has built it, Matt.
And what did he think of it?
Ask
He
him.
said it wasn't all that.
Yeah.
Wasn't all that. What was the price?
I know a few people had issues with them sticking them together.
Yeah.
Them holding their form of it.
Like these are all 1/25th. These AMTs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Revell Charger was, I think, 1/25th. Yeah. So, anyways, it's only a 4% difference, right? 1/24th versus 1/25th. So.
Yeah. Fenris is saying he's poorly. Get well soon, my friend. Hopefully you'll be back in soon. All
Yeah.
Right, you get well, Fenris. All right, you get
Hope you
well.
feel better, buddy.
Just scrolling down through. American scale cars seem to be tooled for America 1/25th, but then you've got Fenris is saying AMT tends to be 1/24 for 1/20th. Is it me or is like the car scales seem to be up and down? It don't seem to be like a standard scale, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's little F1 cars. They're 1/20th. So if they're smaller,
Yeah,
they do make the model a little
I've
bit.
got a feeling some of the Tamiya cars are 1/25th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Formula One car, the
Yeah.
P34 is available in, I think it's 1/25th
Oh, okay, good.
scale. Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I guess I was thinking about
I
those.
could be wrong.
The 60s, the 1960s. They were, I think, a lot smaller. Anyways, yeah.
So Model Minute says about that Hurricane, it's fine, just not a super kit. It's like a 1/72nd, but in 1/32. That says a lot, doesn't it? Really, that does say a lot. Revell have a £99 Eurofighter Typhoon in 1/72nd this year, Rapid Pacific scheme, and it isn't even a new tool. Saying it's exclusive, but Hasegawa is releasing the same scheme for under £40. Yeah. What was it like, John? Put in the chat. What was it like building that 32nd Spitfire from Revell? Let me know. But on the Hurricane, it was all, I heard mixed emotions about it, really. Do you sell much Revell in your shop, Alex? Is it something that you've been buying in?
No.
No.
I have my first order coming from Revell this week, and I've been very, very selective. The main reason I put the order in was for their glue.
Yeah.
The contactor stuff.
Yeah, contactor cement.
Have you got the Humbro cement in the precision poly?
No.
Any reason?
Because I know you'll hate me for it, because I think the Revell's better, and most of my and it's also the way that Airfix do well. Okay, there's two main reasons, Moss. One, I prefer contactor.
Okay.
Two, I make more money on contactor.
That's it. That says it all, mate. That just says it all, doesn't it? You know,
margins on Humbrol products aren't that amazing. I mean, you know, you're not going to make a million selling models anyway, but certainly Revell. I understand the reason why a lot of people stop Revell is because Revell are quite appealing from a commercial point of view.
Okay.
But I stick to my guns in that I'm not going to sell crap in the shop if I can help it. So I've been very selective about the kinds of kits that I've got in from Revell. And no fancy reboxings of 1960s kits.
No, not even the My First Diorama set. Then
don't need to, because I picked up a load of second-hand Matchbox kits, so they can buy them cheaper and better.
I'm gonna say I'm not one for dissing Revell contactor because I've used it for years, but there's something about the precision poly cement in the bottle with the needle applicator from Humbro that's very special. I think that the cement reacts better to the plastic and is a firmer contact, especially when you're doing wings. I've gone around with contactor before, right? And the wings like kind of pinged apart. But with the precision poly from Humbro, I thought it was, and I actually go hunting for it. You know, you just cannot buy it. You know, you go around model shops, they don't do it. So if I need to buy anything extra, I do whack it on a list or something to get to it. But I really do like that. I think that's the one product that Humbro have got right, is that. And the other product they do well with is the Masco. I think the Masco is very good as well. But you try and buy it, nobody wants to stock Humbro products anymore, which is a real shame. But anyway, by and by. One that did excite me from Revell is the International Space Station. They're bringing out a platinum edition, right? If you know, they've released it now umpteen times, right? And it's the most inaccurate space station out there because they've added so much to it that, you know, it didn't even make sense. You know, am I right? I think China or India's got a section now, haven't they, or something? They've added bits to it. So I'm hoping that if it does come in new parts, that it will add all these extra modules. And I hope one of them has the little hole in it. You know what I mean? On the Russian side, you remember they found a little hole.
No, the hole was on a Soyuz, wasn't it?
It was on the Soyuz. It wasn't on the capsule then. Oh right,
no,
okay.
On the Soyuz.
Oh, I thought it was on the capsule, but so that's fair enough. But I'm hoping that's something that excited me. I never knew they did a 1/8 scale Jaguar E-Type. I knew they released a 1/24 one not so long ago, but they had to recall because it was nasty, if I remember rightly. But so that's changed as well. Maybe it was the 1/8 that I've got in there. But it was tooled, and then they going back again. It's a 1976 tooling, but 1/8 scale. But they did actually release one 2 years ago that they had. I think it was either 1/24 for 1/32 or something. But you know, just going down through. So they got 70. If I look here, as I said, I did an Alex, went on Scale Mates. Results found 70, 2023 releases. The Aston Martin is an easy click system, but
That's
for
a new kit, isn't
122,
it? So,
that's a lot. That's a lot of parts for an easy click, though, isn't it? 122. So I'm hoping that the detail will be pretty good, because that means those easy click, basically, you don't have to use glue on it, do you? So that's due out this year. Go the
Of
first
those
go
70 kits, though, Moss, only 7 are new tools.
Yeah, only 7 are new tooling.
Hmm.
But how many new tools did Airfix release last year or this year? There was 3 starter sets, weren't there? There was there was 3 starter sets. There was, you got the Gannet, you've got the Ferret Scout. What else was there?
F-35.
The F-35.
That's technically a starter set.
Starter set.
Still a new tool. So.
Yeah, new tool starter set, F-35. Yeah, I was like the cars. It was a McLaren. It was the DB5.
Land Rover Series 1.
Land Rover Series 1. There was another sports car, wasn't there? That was released. But yeah, so and then you've got the Gannet was a new tooling. The Ferret Scout was a new tooling.
Sea King, did you mention that one?
Sea King was a new tooling. Sea King was a new tooling.
So there were 9 this year.
So 9 from Airfix then, yeah?
Perfect. Yeah.
The Meteor's due out soon. The Hurricane. But like I said, you're going down through. So look at that Gemini space capsule, Crumbs, a Mega Hobby exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a lot of it.
Airfix released 48 kits, 48 releases this year.
Yeah,
9 of which were new tools. So the ratio is a lot different. Because and if you think a lot of those that Airfix are releasing are specifically branded as Airfix Vintage Classics.
Yeah.
And then others like the Black Buck Vulcan, have new parts, some of which are correct, some of which might not be.
Yeah.
Most of which need to be corrected. Should be the rephrase for that.
The ATF.
And also, with Airfix, if you think some of those releases are actually iterations of the same thing. So if you think the F-35 is in its starter set, it's with the Spitfire, and it's with the
Lancaster.
Well, the Lancaster, the Dambuster. So there's 1 new tooling, 3 new releases.
So you've got your own glue, have you, Alex?
Oh yes, I am selling both standard extra thin and extra thin hot.
Extra thin hot.
Nice.
Does that come with a DVD?
Triple X. That'll come out next year.
Guarantees to melt your kits.
Airfix isn't the only one that's been listening to you, Moz. Revell hears you and your space model woes. Well, yeah. I'll bet that kit's going to be mega bucks anyway. If they did release that space station, it'll be mega bucks. But it is a really old tooling. I think it was 1970s, early 1980s, 1990s. Can't find it now. I'll have a look now. When was it? Oh, 2000.
2000. So it wasn't even finished at that point.
No, that's right.
Because it's 2003.
Yeah, but it was released. It was in every shop. And even in 2014, it was inaccurate. So hopefully, but what sort of price is it going to be? You're having a giraffe.
Ouch.
Fucking hell. Really?
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
What's this?
Anybody else?
1001 Hobbies, good luck. You'll get it in about 6 months.
I wouldn't even give them the shit off my shoe.
It still must be a really massive kit. Even if it's 1/44th, I mean, the International Space Station's what, like a It's not like a football pitch long, but
Well, you can see it in daylight if the sky conditions are right when it goes over.
it's that.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it is as big as a pitch.
Yeah.
It's a big bit of kit, but 104 pounds. Crumbs.
It is. It's 109 meters
Yeah.
Yeah.
by 73 meters wide. Yeah, that's gigantic, right?
I mean, 109 meters, 144 scale. That's going to be close to a meter long.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the Lego International Space Station, and that's about that long.
Also, that's the Platinum Edition, which means it will come with a whole bunch of photo etch and other stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Spitfire Technic and stuff, which comes with LEDs and all that kind of things. So Revell are kind of they're re-energizing some of these sets with a lot of extras.
But I think, the thing, you know, like I'm just looking there now. I can't see a SpaceX Dragon coming into dock there. I see the Soyuz there.
No, I can see the oh god, what's it? The Boeing one that went spectacularly wrong on its first flight. Starliner.
Oh yeah.
See the Starliner. I can see the Cygnus. You can't see the SpaceX with it.
No. What's the Nasdaq? Is that the Indian one, Nasdaq? Was that Russian?
No, it's Nippon. Japanese.
Japanese. That's the Japanese section in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe they've added bits. I'm just trying to see what the box art looks like for the old one. Well, well, I don't know. See, that box art is a bit thing because in theory you'll be expecting on that spot, if you bought the 144 version back in 2000, I suppose you'd be expecting a space shuttle in it because it shows the space shuttle in the box art. They haven't got it in the new one, but it doesn't look any different. It doesn't look any different apart from it's missing the. I hope they do better. I really do hope they do better. You know, but you know, it's as I said, they're releasing 70 kits. A lot of it's cars, some of it's military. You got the first dioramas, which if you were going to build if you wanted to build a Sherman, that little Matchbox first diorama kit, you know, because it's Matchbox, it's good, you know, for if you want it. I just see Scott just asked the question here saying, I'm a new modeler 1 year, and in the short time I've heard very little positive to the extent I will never buy a Revell kit. Is that wrong? I'm going to be honest with you, right? If you see them cheap, buy them, because you will build experience by building Revell kits because it will challenge you. Do you know what I mean? Is anyone in agreement with that? I think, you know, if I see a cheap Revell kit, I'll buy one. I've got 2 or 3 on the shelf now that I've picked up for a tenner at a time at a scale model show from the dealer. I would, you know, and knowing that they are going, some of them are going to be more challenging than others. So don't, you know, if you think to yourself, you know, I want to challenge myself, then go out and buy a Revell kit.
I would qualify that though, Moss. It's like if you're starting out in modeling, I would still do your research, look on ScaleMates to see exactly what it was, because some Revell kits. So if you get Revell kits that were made around the 90s, like I would say from 1990 to about 2010, they're probably going to be very good kits.
Yeah.
Not quite perhaps up to, you know, modern standards, but not far off. You know, pretty good stuff. If you get something that was molded in the 70s and 80s, like Moss said, it'll be challenging. There might be some fit issues and flash and stuff. If you get something older than that, you're probably going to get very frustrated. So I wouldn't challenge yourself too much with them. You want to challenge yourself just enough so that you don't get put off. And of course, if you're on a limited budget, there are better models to learn on, I would say. You know, any of the new Airfix toolings, you know, Hobby Boss small scale models. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can learn on. so you don't have to go back to like a 1970s, 1960s Revell kit and end up
or an
frustrated.
ex-Matchbox kit that's lurking in
Yeah.
the range.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and it's to this point that you raised, Moss, on the Matchbox stuff that's being re-released by Revell. They're really nice kits. I love the old Matchbox kits. Revell are taking the piss with how much they ask for them.
Fact.
£20
Yeah.
for that little Sherman kit is
Yeah.
buy 2 Airfix starter sets. It's a better deal.
Well, that was my point.
Way too much.
That first diorama, I was pleased to see there was a Matchbox inside, but they only give you 2 paints. So you can paint the tank, but you can't paint the diorama bit. So it's not even your first diorama.
You painted green. It was just very well camouflaged, Moss.
Yeah. But I still, but still, you can't paint the stonework green, can you?
It's just a lot of algae.
Well, it must have been, yeah. But that's my point. You know, if I like the premise of it, first diorama set. So you grab a Matchbox with the diorama, with the bridge, but give us something more. Give us the paints to do the whole lot, not just paint the tank. And they give you an outline of how to paint the tank, but they don't do. There's no call out for the bridge itself. And I just thought, you know, luckily I got mine for a tenner. But you know, that little Matchbox Sherman, the best 1/72nd. I'm going to put it out there. If anybody in the chat will agree with me, the best 1/72nd Sherman out there is Heller's.
There's so many different Shermans, Moz.
Yeah.
So it's a question of whether they've done the research on them, unfortunately.
Put an 88mm shell in it at half a mile, they're all the same.
Yeah.
That's an interesting. That's the problem with Revell. You never know what you're getting in the box, and if you're new to modelling and don't know about scale mates, you could be very disappointed. Winky eye, winky facey emoji. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So we just asked a question about. Where's it? I'll go back a minute. Sorry, just a quick question, everyone. I'm very new scale modelling. I've seen on Hobbycraft quite a few cheap Academy kits. Are they worth the buy? I've not heard of them before. Academy's pretty. It's above average Academy stuff. And if in Hobbycraft, if they do them cheap, buy them there. Because you know they do. I think Hobbycraft buying a shit ton of models, then realize they can't sell them all, then nip them off quickly, if you know what I mean. So yeah, always worth looking at Academy stuff. John Parker says he was going to come on time. He's had to go to work, Preston. The Revell kits are often okay, but check the internet for reviews on everything is printed by. I think we've got a bit of feedback there from you, Plastic. I've just muted you a minute. Do you want to change your mic? Academy are good. Let's quickly go down through. The Revell 148 Spitfire Mark II goes together well. Just the raised details show its age. That's another thing, is detail in these kits, isn't it? Detail. Are you all right there, Plastic? How are you, my friend?
I'm very good, thank you. Sorry for the delay.
That's all right, no worries. I buy the subjects that call to me. I shiver at Mac 2 or Rodin, but still they offer that subject. Many kits I have got are Revell. I grew up with them. Yeah, I think you're right. We've grown up with Revell, but the question is are they moving forwards as quickly as the others? You know, you look at what's come on the market in the recent 5 years. I don't get excited when I see Revell bring out a kit. I really don't. I should have been excited about the Hurricane, but when I saw the pictures or the artwork, what they called the CAD design of it, it didn't really blow me away. You know what I mean? So it's difficult. But when was there you go, John Alec? What was the last Revell kit or monogram kit that you built and painted and did that? Were you happy with it?
Oh gosh, so I can't remember the last time I've done a monogram. kit, and I grew up on those. Monogram, Revell, and Tamiya were basically all I built in, the mid-late 70s, early to I guess all through the 80s. But Revell, I like the Revell Germany kits. I think that they're really nice. The last one that I've been working on is I got rid of the box, but it's a transporter. It's the Revell 172nd German. What's it? The SB? I forget what it's called, but it's a it's a very large transporter, and it went together. It went together okay. The last Revell, sort of American Revell that I did was that Charger, right? The 68 or 69 Charger. I enjoyed that kit. I thought it was good. In my experience, I don't think they're really any worse than AMT. And AMT is kind of hit and miss. So I'm not too gun shy with Revell. I would look it up on. I'm not really diligent about looking stuff up on ScaleMates. If I see it and I like it and I want to build it, I'll just go ahead and get it and build it. So yeah,
I get that. What about you, James? Are you a Revell fan? Have you built anything from Revell?
I had to scratch my head and think about it. Yeah, because obviously, not many. I've not built many Revell kits recently. I think probably the one that sticks in mind is the Shackleton MR3, the new tool that they produced a few years ago, and that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I had fun and games with the decals because again, it's got sodding riveting detail everywhere.
Yeah.
As a Shackleton should, but it holds up very well against Airfix's Shackleton. But obviously from old school stuff, it's got to be. I've built the Revell X Matchbox HMCS Snowberry, which is the Flower Cast Corvette, and I've built the smaller 1/44 blue HMS Buttercup.
Yeah,
which is again an iteration of the Flower Class.
Yeah,
and also I think I've on the shelf of Doom, which is in various places, is a Lockheed Ventura, which is obviously the last monogram, one of the last monogram toolings, and that is absolutely beautiful. But again, I had problems with the paint and I gave up. So
yeah, I get that. I do get that. I was going to say, Sean Talbot here has just put a comment saying the only Revell kits I have in my stash is that reboxing of Hasegawa's 132nd BF109 G4, along with the K4 Plus and the 132nd Stuka D, as prices are far cheaper under the Revell branded banner than Hasegawa. That's very true, and also most of Revell's civilian planes are Academy made, I should say, not necessarily reboxing, but if you see a civilian plane and it says made in Korea, they'll have asked them to make the tooling and do all the work and then just ship it in a Revell box, which is what Airfix did for some of their tanks and for the KT ambulance. So there's Academy is up there, and I think that's what again is, if praise be ScaleMates, our Bible really when it comes to sourcing where the toolings come from, so you don't lose too much of you research what you buy. Before we move on to Heller, I better ask Alex, when was the last Revell kit that you built?
Well, the last Revell kit that I built, in a common theme here, wasn't actually a Revell kit. It was a Revell box, which had a dragon kit inside, and that was the Focke-Wulf 190 D9 Dora.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean the old Dragon kits, which are actually old. Oh, I can't remember, but I mean, for their time, they were cutting edge. Really nice detail. Fit was, sometimes a bit suspect, but once you got them together, really nice. So yeah, I was trying to think of the last Revell tooling that I actually made, and I think it goes back to what I was saying about before. Those kits of the early 90s, early 2000s would probably be the Condor, the Focke-Wulf 200 Condor, which again is a lovely kit. But I don't think, it goes back to your prior point about where they're going. I think they reached their pinnacle at that point. They haven't really gone back to that level. They lost their way in the same way that kind of Airfix did for a long time. They got purchased, and I don't see them coming back to that sort of level, because then they were making innovative kits that nobody else would do, much in the way that Airfix are doing subjects that other people don't do. They specialize in British ones. Obviously, Revell tended to focus on German. They do seem to be doing more in the car sort of civilian stuff than the military, whether that's the mission that they're, kind of not up there and they're hedging their bets into, somewhere that was a bit more niche.
Well,
I don't know.
Revell had basically cornered the market on the quirky jets, hadn't they? So from the Luftwaffe, that were the end of the ones, the what ifs.
Well, and the bigger stuff. They did the Viking, the Blom & Voss BV222, huge kit, the JU290, massive maritime reconnaissance plane, and then, like you say, all of the fun kits like the Flitzer and the Arado AR, the E555,
the
Blom & Voss BV194. Yeah, all of those, and they were lovely kits. They also did, around the 90s, their 172nd range, and you still see those kits around. The Messerschmitt G10, ME109 G10, the Spitfire Mark V, the Focke-Wulf FW 190, the A and the F, and the ME262. They're beautiful kits. That ME262, I've got about 6 copies of. When they came out in the 90s, they were £3. But that's probably say $9.99 today. They were really, they flooded the market with them. They were the best kits you could get of that type then. But that still represents really the pinnacle of what Revell have done and are doing. I don't feel that they've gone past that. They kind of went through this, let's say, the Humbrol years that Airfix did, where they were just didn't really know what they're doing. They did that a bit more recently. And then since they've been purchased, I think they're finding their feet. They don't seem to have really found that niche, found their feet of where they want to go. They seem to be doing a lot of reboxing, which is understandable. They're making their money.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that's going to cut it in today's market when you've got manufacturers like Airfix, Tamiya still going on. You've got ICM and all these other companies from Ukraine and other Eastern European countries. So I think it's going to be tough.
I think you make some valid points in. When you hear and you look at Airfix, and they announced in their financials that they have a lot of overstock of kits. And sometimes I just think when they say, we're going to release this, whether Revell are thinking we've got to get rid of this stock. So take the stuff out of the bags and just put it in a fresh looking box and do that to try and get rid of it. I don't know. It's, running a business is tough. And if you've got stock levels, you've got to store the stock, trying to get out there. And if Alex, if you're like the average scale model shop owner, you will cherry pick the stuff that you want in your shop.
Yeah.
So overstock to them will be massive. 70 kits, and shall we say 90% of them are reboxings. It doesn't bode well for them. And you look down through that list on ScaleMates, it doesn't just say rebox, it doesn't say new decals, new parts. They're pure reboxings. there's not a different scheme where Airfix seem to release it with a different scheme.
Yeah.
So you're going to get different decals, and after
Different
a time,
tooling.
then they retire them into. I presume they'll retire these kits into a vintage classic range where what you're getting is going to be an old tool and it's going to take a bit of work. But
the other thing, Moss, is that just speaking to Revell, and it's been mentioned several times about the reboxing, and so my dad got me into scale models when I was 5 or 6, probably way too early. But I remember when I was probably maybe more like 7 or 8, I remember him always saying about Revell back then. This is back in the hazy days of the 70s. They had the same reputation then. This isn't a new thing about them doing reboxing, about them having loads of flash, about them having fit issues. At the time, the contemporary, I know a lot of people look back with rose-colored glasses, but they were still seen as not great. They weren't seen as the leading manufacturer back in the 70s and 80s. So.
Well, I can remember being shown it's conversely. It's obviously the Matchbox kits when Matchbox were at their heights before they went bust. Obviously, the Airfix kits were like, ugh.
Yeah,
horrible. Because
that crap plastic as well. People don't realise how crap the plastic was as well.
Yeah,
that ties in. I think if I think about all the years ago when I was building kits, I think the reason why I liked Matchbox kit was the plastic was pretty good.
Yeah,
in a Matchbox kit,
it was robust.
That's the word. Yeah.
I think the other thing that we need to have in account is the market strategy for Revell, as well as Airfix. Revell was bought by an American company, while Airfix is invested in innovating and get there with the bigs. I think Revell is just trying to recoup the investment. They had the molds, just get the kits out, while Airfix couldn't have that because most of the molds were lost from India to the UK. But I think that there's a part of that as well, of Revell just, we don't care, just pop out, get the money, and that's it.
That's a really
certainly
good
how
shout.
it feels.
You've got a lot of practice at cleaning up flash with Revell.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Skill in it, isn't it?
I
Just
can't remember when
quickly,
I built a Heller kit, so don't even ask that.
You become Mr. Miyagi. I mean,
just quickly, Tiger's raised a good point. I bought a Revell kit at the moment. Would have preferred a different manufacturer, but it seems like it's only Revell who does the early versions of the Leopard 1 in 1/35th scale, and it is a 2015 tool. Yeah, don't get me wrong. You're talking. This is the trouble with some of their kits 10 years ago were pretty sound. It's the decisions that are being made now by those at the top of the tree on where they're going to take Revell. When you get their catalogue, you get all this new boxing and everything, but you got a third of it with their drones, with their RC, with their 3D puzzles. They don't really know what they want to do. But don't get me wrong, Revell now is like Airfix back in the day where they were releasing everything. Not just model kits. There was games, there was toys. They were even producing. And I've got one here somewhere. I have the the flower models and stuff like that. It's
Tamiya do all those in Japan.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, Sean Talbot says I grew up on Monogram when I lived in Vancouver, BC in the late 60s, early 70s. John Parker's right. The Revell P51 change. The P51B 32nd scale was a lovely kit and one of the best 51Bs on the market. But again, you're looking 10 years ago, isn't it? It seems to be that play in what's being reboxed previous to when they had a bit of a rise in their creating of tooling for different models to what's being released now. So if they could keep releasing those 10-year-old stuff that was pretty good, then maybe we'll be, maybe good. Being many minutes I did a Monogram kit was pretty good. I think It was a B24, the last Revell kit I banded partway through. I've done some good kits from them, but it's been a long time. Fair enough. What about you then, Nunu? What have you built Revell wise in the last?
Revell wise, I built 2 ships, the Pilgrim Mayflower, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And I built another, the Golden Hind, I believe.
Yeah.
Which were fairly good for their age. And then I built an F-16, which was a bit of a trouble, and a Tornado, both Tiger Meat specials.
Yeah.
Which they were fairly decent, but I wouldn't go with Revell, not even the closest. But again, that's my experience. I might be talking rubbish because might be the only kits I got they were trouble, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
You know, they rebox a lot of ICM kits too at Revell, and a lot cheaper. Yeah, I get that. They do as well.
They do a lot of Hasegawa kits like that as well.
Dan Usher would like to know who did the tooling and pressing for Eddie from Iron Maiden. ACF Nugget says, really interesting, if Revell removed their worst kits, listed tooling dates, they'll get a lot less hate. Yeah.
Hey, there's a really good point there. If Revell didn't box up their old shit, right? Say they drew a line and said 1990 and no earlier, and I would accept them even if they didn't do any new releases, because you're absolutely right. You can buy an ICM kit cheaper through the Revell. Revell have a larger distribution network as well. I'd be happy if I knew that they were all going to be ICM or Hasegawa or Italieri or Zvezda kits. I would buy Revell without hesitation then, because I know what I'd be getting, and it wouldn't be old Revell shit.
Yeah. Nigel's saying here, I think you're giving Revell a hard time here, guys. Who else has produced a 132nd Arado 130? Yeah, we talked about that. We have said that they have done these other kits that are really good. Yeah. We're talking really.
They did the Arado float plane. It's absolutely superb.
Yeah, but when was that produced? When was that produced, though?
That was a few years ago.
It was.
It's very hard. It's very hard to get.
I mentioned before.
So yeah, we've mentioned all this. You know, the HE and all the reason, but are they still releasing them now? Have they done anything different with them? Have they added new schemes to them or anything like that?
No, it was a 2010 release, that Arado.
Yeah.
Last released in 2015. That's the only 2 times they've released it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. We're talking without backing, but we're talking about what's the future for them now, Nigel. That's what we're asking, because we went on to ScaleMates and everything basically is rebox, not necessarily retooled or new parts or decals. It's very slim pickings, and a lot of it.
Sorry, Master.
Yeah, and the problem is that, you know, what are they producing now that's going, wow, I need that kit? The last thing we've seen, which was big fanfare, was the Hurricane, and when you ask people, it wasn't all that, and we just feel they've lost their way a little bit. And we're going to come on to Heller as well in a minute, but after, what did we say? It was 70 kits that they've released this year. Most of them are just reboxes, not even new decal schemes or anything like that. So let's quickly go back up. Yeah, 70 kits.
That's the thing, boss, isn't it? You know, as Nigel says, he's listed a whole bunch of kits here, all of which are from that time where he said when Revell were. I mean, I used to loathe Revell, partially because of my dad's sort of impression of them and my own personal experience. Yeah. Until around that time in the 90s, when they suddenly started changing and being innovative. They were all the shows. They were IP Met Telford with great big stands with all of their new stuff there. And they were fantastic. You know, they were doing full interiors for kits. And it was like, wow, the new Revell is amazing. And they were like that for about 20 years. And then it just seems that it stopped.
Why don't you come on, Nigel? I sent you an email for the link. Do you want to pop on, Nigel, and have your 2 pence worth? I have sent you a link to it tonight. So if you,
I'll actually answer that one for Nigel. I know why they released the Luftwaffe stuff. It's because in obviously Revell are obviously German, so all the big superstores like Kaufhof and that have a model section, and believe it or not, you go in there and it's wall-to-wall Revell.
Yeah.
So yeah, and guess what? They do Luftwaffe planes, all of them. So it's like essentially like going into obviously Model Zone or BTs of old when you used to have the big Airfix.
Yeah. I've resent it to you, Nigel. Sorry, mate. I sent it to. There's 4 of you tonight. I send it to by email. Maybe I've sent it again. This time I've not grouped you in with the 4. I've just grouped it single. If you think Revell is bad, apparently you've never built an AMT. Yeah, you know that.
Well, unless you built a reboxed Revell version.
Yeah. I'm totally open. As I said, I just don't see the future. They seem to be stuck in between. As you said, maybe investment. They want to get their money back as quickly as possible but they must have spent a lot of money getting those tools in those machines, reboxing them to ship them out. But it's we'll see what Nigel's got to say. He's popping on, which would be good. London Bus, brilliant. Yeah, I've not seen that. I must look at it. It looks good.
Yeah.
What I've seen.
Oz has done an absolutely stunning job of the engine so far.
Yeah.
Well, one of the engines that you can
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He's done a beautiful Leyland diesel engine. It's like, wow.
I totally agree. I was blown away when I saw that.
Yeah.
It's the size of a matchbox.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. What's the price of it, though? It's £124. Crumbs. It's a lot of money, isn't it? 124 quid? Is that
85 quid on Amazon.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow. Mind you, what red could you use? You couldn't use Ferrari red on that, could you? Jim says, I've seen Revell kits and Reebox versions that date back to the 1960s. I remember building a few of them in the mid-70s. Yeah. As I said, it's not a case of what they're doing. It feels that they seem to be stuck in that little rut on whether they've got to get the money out or not. I don't know.
Well,
but Nigel is right. If you're looking for something else, Revell can be okay, or Tallery, which I build a lot of. Yeah, here he comes. There he is. There you go. Iron Nigel, how's you, mate? You got your calls right?
Just turn you off here a minute.
No, we're not dissing Revell. We're just saying that it's the future of Revell that seems to be a bit of a time. We look through Scalemates, and in 2023, 70 kits were released. 7 were new tooling. A lot of it was old part, reboxes, not even new fresh schemes or new parts to it. So we wondered where the future of Revell is. We're going to do the same with Heller in a minute. What is the future of Revell? They seem to be stuck in some sort of quagmire, not knowing what they really want to do.
Yeah, if my opinion counts for anything, to me, they have always produced some lovely, lovely kits. And it's like Alex said, there seems to be this chunk of time where they got this massive investment or something. I don't know. And then before that and after that, it's just, I've got a 196 Saturn V there, in the big toolbox.
Yeah.
And I got it 2021. I think it was 50 years since Apollo 11. And 2019, whatever. And it's got a new on it. And it's a 1960s kit. It's crazy. 1970, I think, 1970. And it's got a new on the box. I don't know how they get.
Plasticard.
Sorry?
It's got a load of Plasticard in it.
Yeah, it has. But I don't know how they get away with it. So
the trade's description, right? They're
yeah. What were you talking about just now? Sorry, because I ran downstairs to get a beer, And I came back and my kit did 150 of them, and James said it was 84 on Amazon.
Oh, the London bus.
London bus.
Yeah, the London bus engine.
Platinum edition one. Here's one, mate.
Wow, you've got one of you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, 76 quid on Amazon.
He made that engine look totally metal. It looked like a little metal engine that could run. It looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Well, this is the beauty of what we see now in scale modeling is we call them sub-assemblies. We love a sub-assembly. Everyone does, you know, and I think Qatari went wrong by not producing an engine for that Spitfire that they did, because I think they've been hammered for that. But you don't think they should have done an engine? You don't think they should have done an engine?
The trouble is, and this is what Tamiya have done with their 48 scale kits. If you go and buy a 48 scale 109, you get an engine, but you can't put the engine in if you want to have the cabin shut. Because the trouble is with scale mod, the engine is the first they put an engine on a bench, don't they? Build a plane around it.
Yeah.
And the sheet metal lot is so thin. And for reduced drag, they make the fuselage as small as they can make it around the engine. So obviously, to have an engine in a model kit, you've got to have the engine undersized, which everyone complains about. Yeah. All the old trumpeter stuff, the P38, the engines in that are tiny. Yeah. Even that Hong Kong models, Lancaster, the engines in that, they're tiny. So they could have made really thin engine cowls like Tamiya did with theirs. But it's their first kit. You've got to give them a break, you know.
Yeah.
None of the 30-second Revell things have engines, do they?
No, and I think that was one of the things that people said about the Hurricane was doesn't have an engine.
Doesn't have an engine.
I do remember they did do engines.
They did.
They did a 1/32 scale Seafire. I remember building it, and that had an engine in it.
Bloody hell!
See, the thing is, though, Nigel, it's not just. I know what you're saying about that, but people look at the price of a kit and they say, "Oh, that Spitfire's £80 odd."
What are you going to say?
Engine.
Go on.
And the Airfix 124 is 90 odd quid. So for £10 difference, you get a bigger you get a bigger plane, and you get an engine. That's the argument that people share. It's about pricing. But that Corsair was 60 quid. They would have said that's the best Spitfire at 1/32, 60 quid. But they went for £80 odd, didn't they?
Yeah. And it's probably the most accurate model Spitfire money can buy. It's certainly got the best instructions. It'll have the best colour schemes, best colour corrects.
Yeah.
But, I mean, from my point of view, Nigel, couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not paying 80 quid when there is what I would consider better value out there. And I do disagree. I think it is absolutely fair to compare eggs and eggs here, because we're, as buyers, it's all the same to us, right? I mean, it's the same as in the shop, right? There was a, what have I got? The Hobby Boss F14s and the Tamiya F14. Tamiya is twice the price almost of the Hobby Boss. But you pay your money and you take your choice, right? And it's like smaller manufacturers do have larger overheads and are going to be more expensive, but they do also need to think about it's going to sit there next to another kit which could be 2/3 or half the price. How many people are going to buy their kit because it is, you know, a 1/4 of a millimeter better in one dimension or another? There is a certain section of modelers that will do that, but it's not all modelers. I would argue it's not the majority of modelers, so they're restricting their market. So
I would agree.
It's a broad strategy. I don't know if it's a winning or long-term one.
I would agree it's certainly in one aspect. I mean, look at Wingnut Wings kits. Everybody's like, oh my God, Wingnut Wings, you know. Wow. There's nothing really that special about them. They've got very little photo etch. They don't use slide molding. You know, they're not that amazing, but the research and the work that goes into the instructions gives you this full package that everybody falls apart over. Look what happened to Wingnut Wings. Very expensive. Well, very expensive here because of our greedy importers. But, you know, when you compare a 32nd scale Spitfire Mark 9 from Tamiya to a Wingnut Wings kit, there is really, no comparison. The Spitfire is far better. But
And you can buy it.
Wingnut Wings went bust. That's what I'm saying. If Richard Qatari keeps turning out 32nd scale single engine fighters for 80 odd quid, they're going to go down the same route. Because I built that Hurricane from Revell, as you know, and that is a beautiful little model.
And how much was that?
40 quid, I think. You probably get it for 30 now. I just ordered the BF 109 today from Revell, £26, purely because Airscale have sent me a load of resin goodies to go on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get the kit so I can show them off. 26 quid for a 32nd scale BF 109.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? If you can buy, well, let's take the Revell, as we're talking about Revell Hurricane, and you're disappointed it's not got an engine and stuff. Well, you can spend 40 quid on accessories and bits and buy an exterior, an aftermarket engine and things, and have a more detailed Hurricane than the Qatari Spitfire, which might be slightly more accurate. But are you going to go for the experience of building either a kit at half the price, which is roughly comparable, or something that you could really go for the same price? I think most modelers are inherently a bit, I don't want to say tight, but we look for value, right?
Yeah.
Apart from those things that we just have to buy, in which case we'll just self-justify. But most of the time we're looking for what we consider a good deal. And if accuracy is absolutely everything to you, I get the Qatari piece. But if it's not, I'm not talking about glaring errors, but I'm talking about, half a millimeter, wingspan, millimeter or two on length on a 132nd kit is, it's like, come on, guys. Unless you've got them next to each other, can you actually tell?
Even if they are next to each other. I remember people going over here, weren't they? Everyone was saying that was 3 millimeters too short or something.
On the thing about Wingnut Wings, somebody left a comment on one of my videos about the whole Wingnut Wings debacle. Apparently, at the time, Peter Jackson had a company replicating planes 1-to-1 scale.
Yeah, he still has.
Yeah, he still does.
And that company, one of the guys at that company fleeced him for millions.
Right.
And apparently he had to choose he had this new accountant come in saying this guy's stolen all this money from you, and he had to pull back on the money going to Wingnut Wings and invested it into this scale, building vintage.
Well, I've seen the video on here on YouTube of the amount of research they do and the attention to detail they to get to restore these to build these they're essentially new build World War I warplanes, and the research they go to build the engines and whatever else. It's all that research material. It went somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, Wingnut Wings is still a registered company.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson is still the owner. The website still exists. Wingnut Wings could reappear like that.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. It's just ceased producing kits, and it got rid of all its staff.
Who then moved on to Qatari, yeah?
Some of the staff went to Qatari, and there's a very wealthy vet, funnily enough, in New Zealand that has put the money into building this company called Qatari. And Richard Alexander, who I regularly speak with via email, is now the MD of Qatari.
Right.
And they're doing exactly the same as Wingnut Wings. They have a Chinese tool manufacturer, and then they have a Chinese molding company, and they have the tool manufacturer make the tool. The molding company does the molding. But I mean, their quality control is probably one of the best on the planet. The manufacturers of the tooling, I've got a couple of books all about it. They put, they have like 3 lots of test shots before they're happy. You know,
What's
I
your
think
tailor?
Yukimura, it's 6. Yeah, because they make the tooling out of, and originally made the molding out of copper.
right.
Because it's obviously cheaper to alter it, and they do 6 toolings before they sign it off. They're happy with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you say Wing Not Wings is still a registered company, Nigel. It kind of brings up an interesting question, doesn't it? I did this in the video I did on Airfix. It's just like, well, what actually is a company? Because if all the people have left, and yeah, it's got a name and a website, but can you really say that that's the company? Because when it starts, it's not going to be the same. As you said, the research that goes into it, really, the company is the people within it, right?
That company was Richard Alexander. Full stop. I mean, yeah, they had some fantastic designers and CAD guys in that. But the research and everything everything had to go through Richard Alexander. He was the final word on everything. And I mean, that guy is Mr. Accurate. He's unbelievable. But the company, as the company name, the brand, all still exists.
Really?
Yeah, but that's it. It's the brand, isn't it? I mean, it's like comparing Airfix today with Airfix in 1960. There is no comparison. They are completely different. The only thing that is the same is the name.
Is the brand.
Everyone
Yeah. But if I mean, it won't happen. But if Peter Jackson got all his people back and revamped the company, it would come back the same.
Yeah, that would never happen.
No, Wing Not Wings was started by Peter and Richard Alexander, wasn't it?
But I suppose swinging this back to Revell for Moss, you can't go through the same thing with Revell, though, does it? It's been through what, 2 or 3 management buyouts in the past 15 years. So is it really even any more than a brand at the moment?
Are they still Revell GmbH?
No, they're Revell Carrera now.
Yeah. Because it was always the Revell GmbH kits were always better than the Revell kits, weren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
The 24th scale car kits. Some of them were American Reebok sort of monogram kits, and they were never as good as the Revell stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you get some of the discrepancy in 124th and 125th.
Yeah,
that's what we were talking about originally. Is that what is the scale? 124th, 125th. We get pissed off in this country because Airfix released 176 and 172. I can see them going boom for 124th and 125th elsewhere. Yeah. It's the thing also is, did Peter Jackson do wrong with Wing Not Wings by concentrating on
very careful what you're saying, boss?
Yeah, were they wrong in going for World War One planes? Would they have made a lot more money going for World War II and maybe some Cold War jets instead of focusing on the World War One stuff?
Probably, yeah. But World War One was his passion, and then he was going to do a remake of Dam Busters, so he actually had 10 full-size Lancasters made, copies for his film. Yeah. They've all probably been crushed now.
He's got a lot of spares from Kermit Weeks and other people who had Lancasters.
Yeah.
Or correction, he's got Lincoln parts out there from Kermit.
Yeah. But be very, very careful what you say. There have been people that have talked about him doing something wrong with the government or something.
Yeah, somebody put something up on the chat there, and I didn't put anything up but somebody said that there was tax evasion or something, so I don't know.
Anything else?
Yeah.
So
I mean, everything we say is our opinion, and unless you're going to actually libel somebody.
I'm not liable. I'm just saying. I just heard that he got fleeced by a lot of money, and he decided not to go any further. And and it's a shame, but. I believe that a lot of the tooling is still held by a particular Chinese company who's going to release it under a different brand. So, because I think there was one tooling that wasn't released. That was then released by somebody else.
Made by a Chinese company, yes.
Yeah.
The company there were three kits being produced when they went bust. It was the Fokker DR1,
Yeah.
Lancaster, and the Handy Page 0100 or 400 was it?
400.
Big thing, which I want. I want that kit.
Yeah, so do a lot of people.
So, Border Model bought the tooling for the Lancaster, and as we know, that's finished tooling. It's not finished. They've got it pretty well sorted now. And then Meng bought the tooling for the DR1, and then made some changes to it. So I don't know how far. I mean, I've seen a test shot of that Handy Page 0100.
Yeah,
I made a video about it, if you remember. And
you did. That was last year, wasn't it?
No, that was 2018.
Right. Okay.
Years ago, Moss.
Yeah. You know what?
Time
I
flies.
binge watched you anyway. Now I binge watched you. So depends what come up next on the next. After. But yeah. At the end of the day, as I said, Tommy's been asking here, if you want a model of a Spitfire Mark 1 in 1/32nd, then it's sort of irrelevant what Tamiya has done, or for what that matter, that Revell has a much cheaper 1/32nd scale Hurricane. What are the other options?
I don't know what Russell means there. What does he mean? It's sort of irrelevant what Tamiya has done.
He's saying, but I think what he's saying is that it's irrelevant which manufacturer's done what. It's
What he's saying, if you want a Spitfire Mark 1 in 1/32nd scale, the only one is Qatari. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
You can go and get if you want a 1/32nd scale Spitfire, go and get one of the Tamiya ones. They're the best on the planet. If you want a Mark 1, you're a Mark 9 or a Mark 8, are you? Or a Mark 16, whatever it is. That's what he's saying.
I think one of the things with what Nigel brought up there, though, about the passion for World War I aircraft with Peter Jackson is really relevant to the Revell and the Airfix piece, the kind of whole bit. Because if you think Peter Jackson made those because he had a passion for them, and that came through in the way that, who he employed, his oversight of it, deciding what they were going to do. And that's why they were such good kits. And if you look at the way that Airfix have made a lot of their kits recently, it's the same sort of passion, the same sort of diligence. Yeah, they make some mistakes and stuff, but cut them a break. Their heart's in that place. And what I'm not seeing and not feeling from Revell is the same thing at the moment. And it is that sort of passion that they did have around the turn of the century, when they were bringing out these amazing kits like the Arado, like the 32nd scale ones, and the 1/72nd scale, big flying boats and things. That showed passion and diligence and research. And do we see that in the same way? I'm seeing it more in the cars, like we said, the London bus. But I mean, that's a very different sort of market. There aren't that many of us that do big 1/32nd scale, aircraft and stuff, and London buses. They tend to be relatively separated. So, do we need an injection of people who are passionate about subjects at Revell? Will they get that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've just remembered something as well. We talked about all these lovely 32nd scale Revell kits, and then they did the F-18. Oh yeah! What a complete and utter pile of dog crap that thing is.
Oh, put a certain modeler in hospital with that one.
Sorry?
Phil Flory in hospital.
Yeah. I mean, they've actually got in the instructions where to remove the flash. Guess what's the
Oh, bless it.
They've actually got in the instructions, if you're watching the reviews on it, they show you where to remove the flash. And you've got to shorten the bulkheads because they don't fit inside the fuselage. They're too big. The undercarriage is it can't support its own weight. The rear of fuselage is all out of shape. The fuselage around the canopy is out of shape. It's an absolute pile of crap.
How did Phil Flory get put into hospital then? Because of that model, what did he do?
He had heart. Unbeknownst, he had high blood pressure.
Right.
And he was taken ill
because of that model. It was firing him up that much.
We pulled his leg over it because he said it bloody killed you. Because he came up with the thing. Every year he does a theme. He said this year it's go big and go home, and we said it's go big and he went to hospital.
Did he build it?
He did build it, but then he had the undercarriage collapse, and he had to put a clear resin piece of perspex underneath the fuselage.
Yeah, it is a pile of shit.
Because he finished it, he had it sitting there, and he walked out the room, and it went thunk.
Yeah. If you look at my build, I've put wire in the undercarriage and bent it up in, so it's really strong.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it hopefully Revell will find their way in all this. As you said, they were bankrupt 3 times, taking over 5.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we'll see something better coming from them next year. And
I will say they have got amazing customer service.
Yeah,
spare parts and stuff. They are amazing. But saying that on that,
that's because they have to practice so much, Nigel.
The rings around that go just in front of the exhaust nozzles on my F18 were absolutely covered in sink marks. So I sent them photos. And I said, "Can I have some replacement parts?" Yeah, no problem. We'll send you them. They sent them, and the ones they've sent me are even worse.
That is good customer service. That.
Oh yeah.
Right. Anyway, we're going to touch on Heller now, because Heller's been bought out this year. And if we go over to my screen,
There's so much to the trumpeter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glow 2B.
Yes, great to see Jess.
It is great.
2019 model.
Saying hi to Jess.
So here we go. Scale mates this time. And if we scroll down, 28.
No, don't quick. Shift past that because Wayne Wendy will get excited.
Where's Mark?
So
stay there, Jess.
28 kits announced, right? So model set, new box, model set, new box, model set, new decals, model set, model set, model set, model set, model set, model set, new box, model set, model set, model set. Keep going down. New decals in the Ukraine one, but obviously it's a model set. So you can see here that VAB, I built that years ago. I thought that was a pretty good kit, to be honest. When I built it, I thought it was all right.
Can I ask a question? What is a model set?
A model set is where they've grabbed the tools and they've added paints, a brush, and some of their cement.
It's like a starter kit then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a gift set. Set.
Okay.
So, yeah. Nothing new. They've got one kit that they mentioned, which was going to have the Z wings, and I can't remember which kit it was. They announced it in their video, didn't they? But no one's seen it yet, have they? I can't remember what it was.
Oh, the Hawkeye.
Hulk, yeah.
Hawkeye.
It had the floating wings, didn't it? Is that 1/72 scale as well, wasn't it? It wasn't 148. The EC2 Hawkeye.
Yeah.
But this year, absolutely nothing. Being taken over by Glow 2B, but basically that on Scale Mates for 2023, released this year, there's nothing new. Just reboxing of kits. So going here for because they've gone on the bandwagon, I guess, with the Ukraine stuff, haven't they? They've jumped on the bandwagon. So click on this. This is VAB 135th. That was a 1992. It's a 24-year-old tooling, that one. But it's not bad. It's all right, actually. It wasn't too bad put together. That's the one I did years ago, going by the box art. It just seems a real sad shame. I don't see Heller coming back unless they pull something out of the box. But who's Glow 2B anyway? What is Glow 2B?
Glow 2B is a German company.
Yeah.
And
so they do plastic toys. The distributor as well.
Are they?
You've got Glow 2B, Monochrome, and what's the other one? Gallery models.
Gallery.
I think they've all been bought out by Trumpeter. It's like you've got I Love Kit, you had Merit, you've got Hobby Boss, they're all wings of Trumpeter, aren't they? And they.
Yeah. Well, Zhongshan Yatai is the parent company.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that they own Trumpeter as well? Do they?
Yeah,
Right.
and they also make electric motors for boats.
They don't like to diversify much, then, no.
Mm.
But the first time I'd really heard of Glow 2B was when the Yamato came out, because the Japanese and the Chinese aren't very happy about each other, are they?
No, that's right.
And the Trumpeter will not release a Japanese ship. So monochrome gallery models and Glow 2B are the people that have done it.
Mm.
Same here, Nigel. I hadn't heard of him before until the Yamato came out and had these different distributors based on, or labels or brands, whatever, based upon where you were and in the world.
Yeah.
And, wow, what's Glow 2B? Yeah.
What did I buy recently? I bought a kit recently, and it came with Glow 2B on the box.
Yamato.
No. What have I bought recently?
They're probably a distributor, Nigel.
Well, they do
well.
make their own stuff as well, Glow 2B.
Sorry?
They do make their own stuff as well.
Mm.
I reckon they're just boxy Trumpeter stuff, aren't they?
There might be the case.
With the kits, I mean.
Mm. It might be the case.
Because it was strange that the monochrome and the Glow 2B Yamatos have got different instructions and different decals.
Mm.
It's exactly the same.
And a different sticker on the box.
Yeah. Yeah, nowhere on the box does it say Yamato.
Yeah.
What the hell did I buy recently? It came with a Glow 2B on it.
If Heller did vintage classics, they are head and shoulders there for the time. Well, they were, believe it or not, Heller are releasing a kit this year. Well, not releasing it, but reboxing a kit that was originally an Airfix release. They seem to have that tooling never got sent over to Airfix at the time. And now they've cleaned it up and they're going to release it. I can't remember which one it was, but it was an Airfix kit.
Jaguar GR1.
That's the one. Well done.
148 scale.
Reminded me. Yeah.
I've got the Airfix Land Rover here. That's Heller, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Heller. Because that was the thing. People, if you go back, Airfix never released a Land Rover, their own tooling. It was always Heller. They bought JB models and released them in 176 or 172 scale. They did bring one out with the Bloodhound, and they did bring a 148 Snatch Land Rover out when they did their Afghan.
One of those.
But all the other Land Rovers that Airfix ever released were other main manufacturers or a tooling that they bought off somebody else. In fact, I've still got it here. I think I got it here somewhere.
Why haven't they re-released that bloody Land Rover? God.
Well, that 148 one.
It's one of their best kits they ever made.
I've got one up there.
I know you have.
Yeah, it's you can do a lot with it as well. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's a shame they won't release it. What's that, sorry?
There's two in the box, isn't there?
No, there's only one, I think. There's one with hang on. Yeah, one Land Rover, plus you get all the figures with it as well.
Right. Did they do one with two in the box?
The quad bike.
The ATV.
Right. I don't know where I got that.
The little quad bike.
Right.
Yeah, the quad bikes. You got two quad bikes. One with with two trailers. One with accessories in, and one with a bed on it. So, I built that quad bike. It was really nice little build. It was really good fun to build it. And you're thinking it's 148, but it's no bigger than your thumb. Do you know what I mean? When it gets to that, if they did it in 1/72, we'll be floored. You'd never do like that. Like, you're trying to get it in.
I was just thinking then I did the Bloodhound when I was a kid, the Land Rover. And that Land Rover must have been about 1.25 inches long.
Yeah. In fact, you could probably have built that. They could have done that like a submarine, just done 2 halves of it, then you just glue them together and remove the seam line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was tiny. But that's coming out this year again. And as I said, the other one, if I just grab it here on my bench, whoops, this will collapse. That's the Land Rover that they released.
I've got one of those.
It's awful.
Yeah,
Looks older than I am.
Yeah. So I picked that up cheap from at the Scale Model Show just for but 1993, you know, and then they lost. I think they went bust, and then Airfix bought the tool in. So, but the new Land Rover, I've seen somebody built it at our local model club. He's done a fantastic job on it. Also, on the Heller ones, if I'm right, underneath, if you build the 148 in, the other one, the diff's wrong in it. Is that right? And the gearbox is wrong underneath.
I'm gonna have a look.
Here we go. Right, this here was made by FX. Do you remember these?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a flower dispenser, but it's got we can see it there. It's got is it made by Airfix plastic? Yeah, that's the one. Apparently, the gearbox is wrong and the diff's wrong in it or something. Too far back, apparently. When you build it, it's too far back. Surprised you've not built it.
No, the diffs are all right because they're molded into the floor with the axles.
What about the
It all looks okay to me.
That's right. Well, somebody mentioned it at the Scale Model Show. They said, look at this. Airfix has got it right on this one, on the starter set one, the 143rd. Maybe it was the other size one, not the 148. Maybe
it looks right to me. I mean, the dips are molded into the floor and they're in line with the axles. So,
right, okay. I thought there was something wrong about it. It's like the gearbox. I mean, in the middle, it should be further forward. It's at the back, more in the middle. Maybe that's the 132nd one. I can't remember now, but he was saying, yeah.
I don't want to open it because it's unopened. Look. How old? This must be 30 years old, mustn't it?
Oh, it's been tooled by so many different manufacturers as well, not just Heller, I think. But I just don't. I think Heller's got a lot. If Go2B had gone, you know, we had that guy come on do a video about him saying, "Oh, we're going to do this and do that." I've not seen.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
We did an Airfix and chill. We watched it through. You know, it just seems so shame that everything that's been released so far in 2023 has been model sets or anything. I reckon all the rest of it that's due out won't be coming out till 2024 now.
Yeah.
None of it's been released yet. It's
Don't they not bag their sprues as well? Don't they just chuck all the sprues in the box loose?
They're not bagged, are they? But they have a top opening box.
They're going to be in, eh?
Yeah. Well, this is it. They're in a crappy box. Crappy box.
Yeah, great. You're not going to lose any parts because it's probably going to be sealed in cellophane. But
well, knowing the way the French go on strike when they build the kits
off the tree, I mean, yeah.
But it's German now. Do you know? Interestingly enough, Go2B was, or let's say, originated from the old Heller Germany distributor. So it's like the servant has become the master. Right. It's the whole Darth Vader story.
Well, that's not so bad if they do that, Moss. If they've got the sprue, but then look how deep that box is. They're going to be all.
Yeah.
That's Amazon will have fun with that if they post that through the door.
Yeah, Ace Ventura.
Amazon don't care.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because I saw Pete Oscar Model and I saw his review of that bus, and it was all bent. The clear parts were all scratched. So I got mine straight open. Perfect. It's perfect.
Plus, I got it made in India.
No.
Just looking at Go2B, though, I can't see anything about them being associated with the Chinese. They seem to be a wholly owned German distributor.
Well, I thought they had something to do with Trumpeter. I think Nigel's right. They
they distribute. They're the largest, one of the largest distributors in Europe. They distribute thousands of different kits, including trumpeter. But there's nothing here. It seems I've just been looking at various business things. There's nothing about them being purchased by a Chinese company.
Well, it's funny, isn't it, that Heller brought out a 1/16 Stug last year, and it was a trumpeter kit in a Heller box.
Oh,
they did the Panzer III 16th scale. That was only released by Hobby Boss, I think, this year. They released it through Heller 2019, I think it was.
Wasn't the Panzer III a trumpeter kit?
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Yeah. Years and years. That was one of their first 16th scale tanks, wasn't it? Or was that the Panzer IV?
Not sure.
Panzer IV. That rings a bell. Oh.
Made in Poland, this is.
That's made. So in theory, that should be a good kit then. It's made in Poland.
It is a good kit.
Yeah. When are you going to start building up then, Nigel?
I probably won't. I bought that because generally what you find with Revell, they go away and they're either gone for a very long time or they never come back, and their prices just go.
Gotcha.
I've got some of those Arados in there. I paid £10 for one of them. They're worth about £70 now.
I should have picked up more of those submarines now. I know how much they're worth from Airfix. Those Airfix submarines.
Yeah. Trafalgar.
I picked mine up for £6. Right? Yeah, 55, 60 quid on eBay they're going for now.
Yeah.
And they sell.
Crazy.
So I don't know what I've actually I bought mine and I bought some photo etch for it as well. So I've got some photo etch to put on this one.
Right.
Yeah, it's simple. It's a simple, £6 I paid. It's a second-hand kit anyway, but that's basically it. It's the submarine, but it's in 3 parts, not 2. So it's not like 2 hours put together. You do the bottom part first, then put the top on, which is interesting why they've done that, because I see why they've done it. If you wanted to do this as a diorama with it in water, you don't have to bother putting the bottom half in. Just like just sink it in, and then just cut the prop in half, whatever, or the jet, or the pump, the pressure pump they put on them, didn't they? The first one had the prop, and then they went for the silent model. But there's only one left now, and then the rest of that's it. That Trafalgar class is no more. They've only got one left in operation. All the other 8 have gone. So, But I'm wondering if the last one does get decommissioned next year or 2025, whether Airfix would release this just as a gift set. Because all you need is 2 paints, black and grey, and you're done, isn't it? But yeah, so I should have picked up more of them. If I see them, if they're going cheap, they'll flock them on eBay for £6. But yeah, of course, if I want to build this one just for the crack. So I don't build many submarines because I just think they're boring. But there's a bit of detail on it, and I actually want to practice masking up freehand and try and do the rubber tiles in all different colours and try and do like an algae and green, and I just have a little play with it really. But I like them to re-release the Trafalgar class sub in the new Airfix plastic they're using. Yeah, we won't talk about the plastic because I'm pissed anyway about that. But hang on, the Land Rover had a transfer box, or maybe he saw and that was misread. On the Land Rover. All right, okay. What's I saying there? So Glow 2B is listed a 22 release of a monochrome 2022 tool 1200 Yamato ship.
Yeah.
So that's the Yamato,
that's
is
Glow
it?
2B labelled, yeah.
Glow 2B, is it? Right.
The Glow 2B kit is different than the monochrome kit. So the plastic's the same, but the instructions and the decals are different.
Okay.
So I don't know what it's like. If you buy that Yamato in Europe, you get Glow 2B. If you buy it in America, it's gallery. Yeah. If you buy it in anywhere else, it's monochrome. So it's It's like Trumpeter have made a kit but didn't want to put their name on it. It's really strange.
Well, this is exactly what they did with that Panzer III that you mentioned, because they produced a kit. I don't think they ever actually released it as a Trumpeter kit, did they? And then it came out as a Heller kit in 2022, and then they released it through Monochrome.
Yeah.
I think this year, like
Right.
end of last year, beginning of this year. And that company, Zhongcheng Yate, do that a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think at the end of the day, all these companies release tooling or release models of other manufacturers' tooling and put their own take on it, and it depends on how you want it. I know people were moaning that Airfix was selling Academy tanks 10 quid more than what Academy was selling them for, but you're getting their design scheme and probably, you know, and their instructions, where Academy instructions aren't brilliant, you get the Airfix instructions instead.
If you're an experienced model, you can spend £10 for different instructions.
Yeah, I get that, but still, I do like Airfix instructions. Heller's got good instructions. Heller's have got good instructions. Who was it the other day? I was watching a manufacturer. I think it's ICM. They now do CAD instructions, so you watch it on video, and it shows you going there and then there, and it's I thought that was phenomenal.
Hmm.
Yeah, John. No, they didn't. The U-boat wasn't. It's not Airfix tooling. They've only ever released one tooling of a submarine, and it's that. They've never done any other. So somebody said they did release a Stingray, you know, from Jerry Anderson, but you could only buy it from Lions Bay. I think that's a lie. No, that they wouldn't just create a tooling and
they did
sell
the
it
gas
through.
boot tooling of the U-boat, but I don't know who it was by.
Yeah,
It was
but they never.
that Stingray was probably an MPC kit, because Airfix and MPC used to be together, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Well,
you
they're gone now.
MPC is still around, aren't they?
Yeah.
Aren't they owned by that other company in America that's bought AMT, Lindbergh, and all that?
Round two.
Round two.
Remember Johan cars?
Oh yeah, man.
Get those in Kmart.
Yeah, they call him Johan. I guess some people call him Johan, Johan or Johan, and you never knew what color plastic you were going to get. And yeah, you know, those they can fetch a pretty penny here. Some old Johan kits. Yeah.
HS modeling, the Das Boot sub was Revell.
It's Mirage Hobby.
Was it Mirage Hobby?
Yeah.
That rings a bell. It wasn't their kit. It wasn't their kit. I did a video on it, so I must know it was Mirage Hobby actually. Yeah, because the Stingray was a Kickmaster tool, so there wasn't an Airfix tooling. So the only actual tooled submarine that Airfix have ever done is actually. So I was right. I didn't think Stingray was. They wouldn't just do a tooling to sell it through Lions Made, and you buy a cake and you can buy this Stingray kit. You know, it kind of happened. Not happening that. So yeah, but that's the only submarine they've ever done, and I don't think they did an half bad job on it. I just wish that it had more detail. I wish that, you know, if you look at the picture, if I put it up, put the picture up a minute so you can see. Let me get myself bigger. Right. So there it is. You can see the pictures like an actual photograph, and you can see there's a lot of what's it called? Plastic, rubber tiles on it, isn't there? I just wish that they had added those rubber tires as like recessed panel lines that you could.
Rubber tiles, or is it just stressed skin?
It's rubber tiles.
Is it?
I'm sure it's rubber tiles because one of the guys who, one of the lads who comments regular on my channel, is it David or somebody? I'll find the comment again and look for it. He said that they would lose the rubber patches, and underneath would be rusty steel underneath.
It did, yeah.
You know, right? Okay, fair enough. So they may still have that Stingray then. If Airfix bought the Kitmaster range of locomotives, they may have the Stingray tool in. That would be interesting because they could release that not as Stingray. They could release that as Ray Sting. You know what I mean? They could release. I don't know why they don't bother. All this licensing. Why they've done it already with the KT. They've re-released the lorry, the truck now as general service wagon. Why can't they release that tool just so where it just looks a bit like it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, science fiction submarine.
Yes.
Well-known science fiction submarine.
Yeah, it's popular.
Yeah, it's probably time.
Science Unter Wasser Vessel.
Unter Wasserbot.
Yes.
So Monuments has gone to bed. Nice to see you. I'll be feeling better, mate. Yeah, so Everett's got that from the locomotives. Fair play. All UK submarines are covered in anechoic tiles. Isn't that rubber?
It's usually synthetic. It's a synthetic rubber, but it's like got little holes inside it, so it's like a sponge kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that sonar comes in and then gets dispersed, so it doesn't reflect as much. It's like stealth coating for subs.
Stealth,
yeah,
for sub, yeah.
But yeah, it's similar to the tiles on the space shuttle, except for acoustic deflection. Deflection, I think I should say, rather than heat shield. Yeah. So probably made out of silicon as well then, yeah? Like silicon. Oh, yeah. All right, Craig, while you're on, I'm a submariner. I got bollocked for saying this. If you're a submariner, I've got family, right, naval. They call that the conning tower. What do you call it? I've been told it's a fin or a sail now, but would you know that as the conning tower?
The British call it the conning tower and the Americans call it the sail.
Right.
Yeah, sail.
But somebody said they don't even call it that. They call it the fin.
I've never heard that.
But
that's just me.
There's somebody comment on it saying that they don't call it the conning tower. It's never called that. It's called it. Hang on. So it's a conning tower. Conning tower is inside the fin. Ah. So there you go. Hornby got their fingers slapped over trying to use a name already licensed to someone else. Okay.
That happened to Phil Flory, didn't it? When Phil Flory first started, he called himself Pro Modeler. And Monogram got really funny because Monogram do a special range of kits, don't they, called Pro Modeler. And they got really funny. In fact, it was Revell USA that got funny with him. And he swore he would never buy another Revell kit, but he did.
You should have just said I was spelling it with 2 L's.
Yeah, why not?
Is one.
I'll tell you who's a bugger at the moment is the Enterprise brand. You know, the rental cars? You know, if you name your company Emotive, eMove, Electric, they come down on you hard. If you go and try and trademark anything with the letter E before it, they come down hard. You can't use it, or they put real harsh stipulations.
Wow.
In their thing, yeah, they've trademarked the E, which is ridiculous.
Right. He got the name because he served on the Enterprise. He was on that's why he called it Enterprise. He was like an old vet. So he
about Eleanor
trademarked
the name for his company, but I mean the Enterprise. Come on, man!
The Enterprise is trademarked to CBS anyway, because obviously for Star Trek.
Yeah, and
I never knew that. And Submariner is pronounced submarine with an R at the end, so Submariner, not Submariner. It's Submariner.
That may be the case in America. I don't think that's right over here, is it?
Probably in America, yeah.
This is an English broadcast, God damn it.
Hold on a minute, we're going down the decal route here, isn't it?
I got a bollocking the other day because I said glue and not cement.
Yeah, I got that one before. I know.
I mean, it's neither, actually. So,
bonding agent.
All right. So, Moss, any auction tonight? Folks have been asking.
Are they asking for auctions?
Well, Nigel said he's not going to overbuild that kit.
James, look what came in the post today.
He doesn't want to part away with anything else.
Another book. You going to put that deal on your channel soon, there, Nigel?
I know what we could do this in an auction. Let me auction that one off. Start
We'll
bidding
auction
it.
off,
I'm joking.
We've got £2 already, Nige. £2.
Me and my wingnut wings. Oh no.
How many have you got, Nigel? How many wingnut wings have you got?
20.
20 of them.
That's your retirement fund.
I keep trying to buy more. I don't know why, because I think, I'm going to build one and look at it and you think, it's 300 quid. Put the topic on.
All right. Anyone got a 1/24th mosquito they want to sell me? Because I've seen the prices of them going at scale model shows now for nigh on 200 nicker.
Yeah.
200 quid. Because that's the 1990s tooling as well, isn't it? I think Little History had a problem with the naysales on them, but everything else has been pretty good on it.
The tires are horrible.
Are they?
Yeah, they're horrible.
Did you build it?
So Taggers has a point.
I get that, yeah. Well, yeah, I get that. Well, if you'd like to know, my new iPhone turned up today. So, new iPhone. So
Nice one.
I'll be filming
there you go.
with this at the moment. But, yeah, so, because my other one's dying. Pardon?
Let's see your screensaver again.
My screensaver is my little dog, Toby.
There's mine.
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah.
So delightful. It was only about 6 months old there. He's a lot bigger and narkier now. So bless him. He's
Feel like you did, bigger and narkier.
a bit more narky. Yes, narky. What a word that is. But so Nunu's got a new camera as well, haven't you, Nunu?
Yes, indeed, I have.
Nice one.
What did you go for in the end?
I went with the Sony camcorder,
Oh, fair play.
which is doing a great job. I released a video today, and everyone noticed the difference. So
Yeah.
this one hopefully will be the one that will get the money for the proper one.
Yeah. So yeah, I went and bought myself a new iPhone for the channel this time, and then go on.
This one is not that expensive, Moss. And the thing you were saying about focusing,
Yeah.
you can do with this one fairly easy.
Send me a link across then. I need to do something.
Yeah.
Because I canny. As I said, I love my iPhone and I've used it very. I just wanted, and also, I want a camera that I can actually have like the screen faces. So the nice cameras here, but there's no screen. So when you point at you can't see. But apparently, because this is USB-C, you can now mirror a monitor. But I've got to find a 7.5-inch monitor then, or a 5.5 inch to do it. But that's the problem you've got. The front camera is not as good as these. You get all these three here. So when you're filming yourself, you might not be even in shot. But
You can do it on the computer, even with this old iPhone 10.
Yeah. But when you're out and about filming yourself at model shows, I want to be able to. Oh, by the way, thank you about the insurance.
Yeah.
Checked up on mine. But because I've got mine insured for discos and stuff, I'm covered. But you are right. If you go to a model show and create content,
It's work.
it's work.
Yeah. Only if you're monetized.
Yeah, if you're monetized. So yeah, definitely one of them. It's good if I checked, but yeah, I'm all covered anyway because I'm self-employed anyway, so it's registered self-employed business use anyway. So, but yeah, it's all good. But I need to wait. What am I saying here? How can you get me Immortals get stickers from you guys? Just become a member, and I'll send you stickers and my zines and a woven patch. We might have to wait. I've only got 5 Moz patches left, but I'll send some more if you want some. And man, you do stickers as well, don't you, Alex? You do stickers, don't you?
Patches, I just stole everything from Moss. So yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Well, you've got to do it as well, Nigel. Do challenges so people can earn little woven patches off you, like, you know.
I need to get somebody to help me, I think, because it's been a beautiful day today. I've been out the door hardly, other than taking Jess. I've been on the computer all day doing shit.
Yeah. Gets too much sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I'm building the Hobby Boss Bearcat. So
Bearcat? What's a
Bearcat?
Bearcat?
Oh, shut up, you tart.
Right.
Yeah, it makes me laugh because it's an F8F 1B, but it's got the 2B on the front. It's a box art. It's got the longer fin at the back, and it's got the cowling or spread up there. But it's,
You've been a rivet counter.
And yeah, I am.
Yes, he is. Unfortunately,
we need a decent Bearcat. Hobby Boss effort is mediocre, but good detail on it. Nice detail. Fit. Yeah. It could do with an Airfix makeover or a Tamiya makeover, really. And also, no matter what I try, can you see that? It doesn't go. It's not middle. That there is. It's just up slightly. I can't. Even though you try, you put it on the fire. You glue it to the what's it called? The firewall.
Okay.
And it's not center. The actual. It's so if you look at it, it's rated points slightly up.
All I can see, Moss, is it looks like a little smiley face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Virus.
so yeah. And then I've had to fill in a lot of the seams. I had to fill out the seams and stuff. But yeah, it's a good model. I'm loving building this model because I'm not filming it.
Don't blame the kit. Always drive fit. Who was it wrote that? Oh, Moss.
It's me. Not blaming the kit. But when I did dry fit, it's still yeah. Even though I did dry fit, it's still wank. All right. Anyways.
So you dry fitted it, found it didn't fit, and glued it on anyway. Wrong, and you blamed the kit.
I've had to fill in the seams.
always try fit. It's a tight fit.
I am saying, Marjo, I am loving building this kit because I'm not fucking filming it. I'm
Because it's a
actually
Bearcat.
building it without filming it.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure. Do you not find that when you're filming a build, it's hard work?
I've
You're
done
more concentrating on the lens angle and what you're seeing on the screen than what you actually do.
done nothing today. I'm going to have to build something off camera because I'm getting really pissed off with it.
Yeah.
I built a submarine today, Moss.
Nigel.
Did you?
It's really
Yeah,
Sorry, what did you say, John?
It took me about an hour. It was the ICM. ICM sent me the 1/72 scale of the little mulch midget submarine, 1 man, 2 torpedo submarine. Yeah, it's got more than 3 pieces because it's got 2 torpedoes and it's got a full interior. Oh my god, I would not have sat in that thing. It's a death.
No.
But yeah, it goes together really easily because it's like
How
1
big
hour.
is
You're done.
How big is it?
What, the Bearcat?
Maybe that big.
Yeah.
It's a shame they didn't do it in 35th, isn't it?
Yeah, 35th it would be good.
But
Still
I'm
wouldn't see
saying,
anything inside.
Did you have to, for them to send you that, did you have to ask for it or did they just send it to you?
No, they just sent it.
Because obviously I've sent me stuff, but I've always had to ask for it. They don't just send me stuff.
Huh.
Have you got like on a reviewer's list or something? Or
You haven't got the special relationship that I have with the ladies there.
what's her name?
Oh, is that it?
Don't disclose the
One of
secret,
my-
Alex.
Valeria is the manager.
Valeria, I haven't dealt with Valeria. No, I'll have to get in touch
well.
with them again.
Yeah.
Because they sent me
I like
their
Valeria.
that free of charge, which is probably their most expensive kit. So I'd have thought they'd have carried on sending me other stuff, but they haven't.
But then again, Italeri, I did their starter set, the full complete starter set, got the most amazing reviews for it. They never even asked me how I got on. They never responded and said, "Oh, how did the video go?" Even though I told them I've put it up live, they never got back to me and said, "Oh, what's the reaction? What's it like?" And I would have said, "I think it's brilliant. You've got Vallejo paint, you've got proper cement in it, The Sprue Cutters are a bit nay, but there you go. But even though they're not that good at cutting, you're giving us a sanding pad to sand off the nub at the end off the tree, you know, but nothing back from them, nothing at all. So,
No.
But I did say to her, I did email them and say, look, I see you've got a starter set, you know, when are they being released in this country? And they sent me that one over. And I, you know, and I did a good video. It got loads of views for me, and I never got anything back off them, which I thought was a bit strange. They would have liked to have seen. So, but like I say, I get sent stuff all the time. I've got that engine to build, you know, the real build a little engine. I haven't got around to doing it because there's some bits that were wrong. I've had to send them out to me.
Yeah.
I've got that laser cutter that I'm still got upstairs that I haven't done a complete video review on because it's learning the software. Actually, learning software is 80% of owning a laser. Because that laser cutter, anyone can own a laser cutter machine, but trying to learn that software.
Average Bond villain can own a laser cutting machine.
Yeah, but
I've heard people say they're going to get a 3D printer and make copies of their kit parts. Oh yeah, how you going to do that then? You're going to show it the kit part and say, "Make one of these, please." No.
Did any of you watch Pramjit on Flory Models when they asked him about what about 3D printers? He says there's no future for them really, because when you print it, you've got all, you know, if you're doing something thin, and you end up with all the, what are they called? You know, all the
print lines. The print lines.
No, not print lines. So say you do like a 3D resin in a machine, you've got all these strands, haven't you? Keeping it all in position and stuff.
Yeah,
said,
material.
Yeah, that's right. He said if you're doing a wing, it'll be a nightmare because you have to trim it all off and then sand it all, then you lose all the detail. You can't really do recessed panel lines too well on 3D resin. Is that right?
No.
You reckon that you'll be able to
I think he's got a bit of vested interest there.
Well, surely if you did a wing, this is the inside and this is the outside, you would print it like that, so all the legs are coming off the inside. You just snap it off and that'll be it.
Yeah.
I don't even have a 3D printer, but that's to me just logic.
Right. Okay. Well,
you've got to make sure you drain out the excess resin, otherwise the parts explode.
But the other problem with it though is, and Alex will know this because he's got one, when you do thin parts, they do tend to bow, don't they?
Yeah, but then there's ways around that as well. So I use a combination of resins. So one of them is a slightly flexible one, so it just stops the brittleness. And then I printed some 1/35th scale Morris. Is it Morris matte? Whatever it's called.
Yes.
Marston matte. That was it. Somebody told me.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly thin, and that came out okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
I mean, the technology of that's moved on quite a lot. Now you've got like 8K screens. You know, the step resolution you can get is it's like 20 microns or something.
I mean, some of this stuff in here, we're going to review it tomorrow. It's just like unbelievable.
You do all right with resin, though. People sending you stuff, don't you, mate?
Sorry?
You do all right out of resin parts and aftermarket. People just send it to you by the bucket load, don't they?
Yeah. I do have a lot of stuff. The trouble is they send you the stuff and they all want to see it being used.
Yeah.
You have to go and buy the kit and build it on camera.
Yeah.
Which I've said I'll do to Peter with this one because this is that 32nd scale Messerschmitt. It was 26 quid. But, you know, and I've already got the A20, so that's okay. But, you know, if somebody sends me an engine for a Qatari Spitfire, for instance, I don't want to go and spend £80 just to show me fitting their resin engine they've just sent me. You know?
Yeah. I get that.
Like you say, you do reviews for some people and they don't even come back to you and say thanks for doing the review. It's like, you know.
And again, I'm in two minds about it because like I said about the Italian one, I was expecting them to come back to me and say, "Oh, can you do some more?" Didn't, but then see, I buy mine most of the time because I want to be an honest review. Saying I've bought this kit. This is my review on this kit that I've bought. You know,
don't worry about it. I just do it. I'm honest anyway.
Likewise.
Alex reviews kits now, and he just says the only place you could buy this is in this shop. So
Yeah, don't buy this direct; it'll be rubbish. But you buy them from me.
He does his own starter sets now, Airfix starter set, but it comes with man's model moments glue.
Complete tool set. Yeah,
Complete tool set. It's,
I do man's model moments tool sets.
Well, it's gone 10 o'clock. Thank you, everyone here on the panel tonight, for joining us here. Like I said, this is shared out to all the other channels here as well. So want to say big thank you, because this one tonight is at 102 likes.
Nice.
So that's really good going. That is. Thank you so much. It wasn't a hate on Revell. Like I said, we're just looking at the futures of these companies, and I just think those two companies are really, you know, they need to find a way. They need to find something. I still think Revell should crack on and just keep on doing German stuff. Like Airfix seems to be focusing on English planes, RAF, all that. Revell needs to say, right, we're German. We've got nothing to worry about, you know, even though to me, you know, people going about, oh yeah, you're building scale models of planes that kill people. So, but no, all about the technology that goes in behind it, these people that created this, and, you know, and maybe Revell needs to go back to their roots and start retooling all these magnificent planes. And they were Messerschmitts, you know, when you hear a Messerschmitt or a Focke-Wulf go beside you or a Bearcat go beside you, you just grin because of the power and the sound. And they were created back in the 30s, you know. Maybe that's what they need to do. Go back to what they need to do. And like Tamiya, you know, they still release all their Japanese stuff, don't they? You know, you see what they do now.
I mean, they're not bloody doing anything at the moment, are they? It just in it, but you know, whoopee shit, thanks.
Yeah.
Can I have a Hellcat or a Bowfighter or something, please?
Yeah.
It's going to be £200, but it'll be absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah. But Tamiya. Anyway, thanks all for watching, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully you'll be all here for us, and have a fantastic rest of your week. Take care all, and
see you guys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.